Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Tap Mom and the Bake Brigade. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's been a semi-productive day. Had some yarn barf issues going on. Y'all know what I mean. And Premier Puzzle Yarn is one of the biggest offenders of yarn barf. If you've ever worked with it consistently, you know, if you get a skein of puzzle yarn that that center pull pulls good, and it pulls good the whole project, and you haven't had to wrestle with it, then you're doing really good. If that skein didn't tangle and it pulled straight out the whole project, and you didn't have to wrestle with it or ball it up or whatever, then you've done really well. Now, the first skein I worked with, the purple, didn't do too bad. When I tried to go back in to get the second skein going, I had to ball the whole daggum thing up. And then there was a tangle, that there was a knot so bad that I couldn't get it out, so I performed a little surgery. So, working with that and a little box down here because it's too big for my Yarnet. That's what I got this for my birthday last year. I believe Miss Beverly sent this to me from my my wish list. I put an Amazon wish list link in the description box. Don't feel obligated. I just put it there because a long time ago somebody asked for that, and I just leave it there. I update it and then leave it in the description box. But this was on it last year, and it was gifted to me for my birthday last year, and I do use it very regularly. It's such a simple thing, and I learned about it from Cinnamon Stitches, Jennifer over at Cinnamon Stitches, and you know, when she talked about it and liked it so much, I had to have one too. Of course, as you would when you've been influenced by a bigger channel. Well, let me tell you, this little thing is amazing. Holds your little yarn ball and lets it bob around in this little plastic dome here. It comes and it's super easy to operate. You just open it up. It's got its little hinge here, and it opens up like so. You put your ball in there, and it you leave your strand out this little hole here, and then it comes all the way up. It comes through this little crack and bobs back and forth between up and down here, and this little rubber thing keeps it, you know, stationary. So I just sit it. I'll either sit it on the floor and work and you know, pull it from the floor, or I'll sit it here on my table in front of me and work with it there. I thought about going on Amazon and getting me another one, just so I could, you know, if I had more than one project with a ball in the Yarnet thing, then I thought about getting me another one. But I haven't done that because I have had more than one project that, you know, that I was using it for. I just swapped it out and used it, but there has been some progress. Now this particular color of puzzle is so pretty. It's so this hangman color is so pretty. And so don't get me wrong, I really love the red too, because red is one of my favorite colors. It's right there in my top two. It's, you know, turquoise and then red, and then shades of blue and green, and, you know, everything else. And don't forget orange. I do like orange too, because it's the color of flames. Anyway, but this is where we are. This is the first half. I got the 14 rows done on this one, and it just plays out so pretty. It does. It plays out real pretty. So, and then I got the second half working. I've gotten this far. I think my new allergy medicine is making me drowsy. It's not supposed to, but I think that's what's doing it. Because it seems like because I take it with my stomach, my Protonics in the morning. I started taking, because it's Singular is what the doctor gave me for my allergies. Monday, he gave it to me Monday when I went Monday, and it seemed like every time I take it, because I take it with the stomach medicine, and it's like as soon as it's like it's got to be what's making me sleepy. Because I mean, it doesn't make no sense that I drink. Yesterday I drank a cappuccino, a Red Bull, and a Mountain Dew, and I was still, you know, struggling. And that never happens. That never happens. I don't never have that much caffeine and still be going, I could take a nap. Never. That never happens. Caffeine always helps me get motivated and raring to go. So I know it's that allergy medicine. And the thing about it, I'm not going to give up the allergy medicine because it makes me drowsy. I'm just going to take it at a different time because it's working. My poor little nose that was all chewed up from wiping it with paper towels has all cleared up. My nose has not been running, which I was, it had become very, very bothersome. And so that has cleared up. Thank you, Jesus. So the Singular is working. It's doing its job. It's just making me sleepy. So I'm going to skip it tomorrow and see if that's for sure. Because if it's making me sleepy because I'm taking it during the day, I'll just take it with my night meds and do it that way. So I'll skip it tomorrow morning and take it tomorrow night, and see if that doesn't take care of the sleepiness. So I'm not giving up the medicine. I'm just taking it at a different time. Because I don't want to, because I'm getting good rest at night, so it doesn't make it, so the last couple of days with it, 2 or 3 days with this sleepy business, it just hadn't made sense. The only change has been the Singular, so it's got to be that, right? Logically that would be it, because I'm still getting my rest, so I don't know, that's got to be it. But I did want to come visit with y'all just a few minutes. I'm gonna go in here in the kitchen. We got some chicken thawed out. I'm gonna go, and I discovered a full bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Yeah, y'all know where I'm headed with that, right? And my hair is really just crazy. I've been having a fan on that right next to me, which causes my hair to get blown this way. So music on, fan blowing my hair this way. So that I can crochet without burning up. I have a fan. There's an air conditioner right there, a ceiling fan right there, and a fan right there. So let me tell you, your girl's not going to sweat while she's crocheting. I refuse to be hot while I crochet. So yes. But yeah, we're going to have some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm going to put a little butter on them first, and then I'll go back and put the barbecue sauce, because they're boneless, skinless, so they don't have all the fat on them that they would have if they had the skin. So that's why I'm going to put just a little bit of butter on them first. I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's not healthy. Shit. They're boneless, skinless. What do you want from me? So we're going to put a little margarine on them, a little butter, just a little bit, to lubricate them a little bit. And then we're going to pour a little barbecue sauce on them. And we're going to bake them. We're not frying or anything around here. Well, Johnny uses the air fryer. I don't eat fried food. Hardly ever do I eat fried food. But, because it makes me sick. But, yeah. So we're going to put that in the oven. And then probably make some shells and cheese and some veggies to go with that. Sounds good, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, even though we had lunch earlier, and Johnny said he would, a while ago, about an hour ago, we talked about cooking, and he's like, I'm not hungry right now. And I'm like, well, it's early yet. We could cook late. It's fine. It's our house, our rules. We cook when we want. I've been known to cook dinner at 9 o'clock at night before. There are no rules here. We write our own ticket. We decide what time it is time for dinner. We don't owe anybody anything. There are no rules here. Only the ones we make up ourselves, and we can break them if we want to. Yes, indeed. Who makes these silly rules? Oh, it's 6 o'clock and we're not hungry. We're just going to put that in the fridge for another time. No. Because at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I will be hungry. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in there and cook dinner. I'm going to go in there and cook dinner because I'm hungry, and I don't want to go buy something for dinner that I could just cook. I could cook it at home. So yeah, at least when you cook it at home, you know what's been put in it. You know what's been put in it. And when you go through the drive-thru or whatever, you don't know what's been put in that. So yeah, it's better to fix your dinner at home. So you know, not that I'm knocking going through the drive-thru, because I'm guilty of that. I like my Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. I like an occasional burger from Sonic. I ain't gonna lie, I do. You know, and Chinese food at Sumo's. There's a Chinese buffet place that we like to go to named Sumo's. I think they're a chain place. I think because many years ago, I think it was 2013, that I took the boys to Pensacola, Florida on vacation, and there was a Sumo's there, and we ate at this. I want to say it wasn't just, the name of it wasn't just Sumo's. It was something else Sumo's, but Sumo was in the name. And so when this one opened up, I remembered the one in Pensacola being so good. The food was really great, and they had such a wide variety on the buffet, and I remember everything being fresh and really good, and that they had such a selection. And and that was back when I was eating a lot. That was back when I could eat a lot and eat 2 plates of food if I wanted. And now I barely eat 1 plate of food. So that was back when I could really enjoy a buffet. Not so much anymore. But back then I could, and I really enjoyed that buffet in Pensacola. We had a good time that night. It was really good food, and the boys really liked it, and we got our money's worth that night. And they had such a good selection. They had so many different things. You know, some I had tried at other Chinese places, some I had not. And so it was nice to try some new stuff. I do like sushi too, so they had some sushi rolls there, and you know, it was nice to eat somewhere new that was actually good and didn't make us sick. We had been on vacation before, back in 2005. Yeah, 2005. We were living in West Memphis, Arkansas. Me and the boys were, and Johnny was 6. Will was about 12. And we went from Memphis, Tennessee to Orlando, Florida. And I took them to SeaWorld and Universal Studios. I know everybody thinks, oh, she went to Orlando, she took her kid to Disney. No, we did not go to Disney. Nothing against anyone that loves Disney. Good for you. That's wonderful. I'm happy for you. But me and mine, we have never been big Disney people. We're just not Disney people. So we weren't interested in going and seeing all that Disney stuff. All that cutesy little Disney stuff. We're just not Disney people. The only reason why we have Disney Plus is for the Marvel stuff. The Marvel, the heroes, the super, the hero stuff, and because they have Nat Geo Wild on there that I happen to love. I love Nat Geo Wild, National Geographic Wild that is on Discovery Plus. So we watch it for that, and it's also Disney is part of Hulu, so we have that. But now we went to SeaWorld and Busch Gardens that were there at the time. Keep in mind, this was 2005. This was 20 years ago. And the boys were Johnny was so cute and little, and he really was into flower gardens at the time. And I have some pictures somewhere of him standing next to this really big flower bed, and he was so happy. You could tell in his face and his body language that he was just tickled to death with those flowers. And we got to see the Clydesdale horses, the Budweiser horses, and I don't know if I don't think I got any pictures of them. The big Scottish horses, they were so pretty, and I got to see Shamu, the big killer whale. That's when they still had killer whale shows. Of course, I've seen a documentary that shed a whole new light on that situation and made me ill. But I did. we were walking around, and we happened on the actual show where they were showing Shamu and having a big water show, and where he was doing tricks and stuff, and then he came up out the water and landed on the little concrete landing, and I was just like, because it'd been a dream of mine to see the whales, and to see the sea life and everything. And Will bumped me, and he said, "Mama, are you crying?" Because I was so touched. You get a little emotional, when you see something that you've wanted to see your whole life. Ever since you were a little girl, you wanted to see it, and then you're standing there looking at it, and you're just like, in awe, in awe of seeing this big whale, doing these tricks and just being within, that close to one, and you're just standing there in awe. And so I probably was a little teary-eyed, and he just put his arm around me. He said you deserve this, Mama. And I tell you, that was Will. I really couldn't have raised him and his brother without his old soul. He's still an old soul, my oldest boy, and he was my rock. And that was a trip, man. That was a really good trip. We didn't just we went to SeaWorld that day, and we had a really good time there. And then, of course, we went back to our room, and then we got these tickets to this pirate dinner theater. And I forget what, because we were there for a few days. We were there for like 4 or 5 days. And so we went to this pirate dinner theater, and literally it was like a pirate show, and they served you food while you were watching the show, and which was exciting. It was very exciting. It was very Pirates of the Caribbean type show, and they, of course, they were singing and stuff, and the boys loved it, and they had served a little bit of wine with the meal, which I drank a little of it, but mostly I just drank tea, which, I drink a lot of tea, sweet tea. And so I think I had a fish dinner. I don't remember what all was in the dinner, but the boys ate what boys eat, like hot dogs or something like that. They didn't eat the fish. I ate the fish. But the next day, I was sick. I was so sick. Like every 5 minutes, throwing up or diarrhea, and sick. So I got food poisoning from whatever. I don't know if it was the wine or the fish dinner, but one of those made me really sick. And so every couple of minutes, every like 5 to 10 minutes, I was in the bathroom. And this was the day that we were scheduled to go to Universal Studios. We had transportation set up, the whole 9 yards. And Will looked at me and he said, "Mama," he said, "you look a little green. You sure we want to do the Universal Studios?" And I was like, "I paid for it. We're going." I said, "Y'all been looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this. I paid for it. We're going." And so I put my big girl panties on and we went. And luckily for me, every 10 to 15 feet of that Universal Studios was a bathroom. Because I had to hit every one of them. and then apparently I was looking pretty pale. But we did manage to go to a 3D showing of the Terminator, which was very interesting. I had never seen it in 3D before, and it while we're watching it now, me and Johnny are sitting next to Will, and Will is really into this 3D thing, and it looked like the liquid guy, was like really, because it looks so real. Me and Johnny are doing like this in our seats, because it looked like he was coming like right in front of our face. So me and Johnny kept doing like this in our seats, and Will's over there just laughing hysterically at us because we looked scared, you know. We looked like something's coming at us, you know, because that's how it looked. It looked like it was coming at us. So we're like this with our eyes wide, backing up in our chair, and Will's over there laughing and shaking his head at us. But it was a good time. And then I think we were there maybe about 3 hours, about two and a half, 3 hours. And we were sitting there, and I'd gotten them something to eat, and I was munching on some bread or French fries or something to kind of, you know, calm my stomach. And Will looked at me, and he's like, Mommy, he said, you look really pale. He said, you really need to get you back to the hotel so you can take a nap and you can rest. He said, you've done your job. You got us here. We've had a good time. We need to go back to the motel, and you need to rest. And I was like, are you sure? You don't want to go look at some more stuff? He's like, no, Mama, we're gonna take a bus and we're gonna go back to the hotel. I'm like, okay. So we went and found some public transportation, and we managed to get back to the hotel. And yeah, I did. I went and got comfortable, put on some shorts, and John put some cartoons on for John, and Will went and hung out at the pool, and I crashed. And the next day we came home. So it was a good time, though. You know, it was good memories. It was still a good time. I got pictures, and you know, it was a good trip. I'll always remember that trip to Orlando. And the trip to Pensacola was a little more brief, and it was, you know, of course, over 10 years later, almost 10 years later, you know, we went to Pensacola, and it was colder than we expected it to be because it was in March, and we didn't realize it was going to be so chilly there. We did go to the beach, though. We got some pictures at the beach, and we really didn't spend a lot of time at the beach because we didn't realize we wanted to walk on this pier and just kind of look out over the ocean, but they wanted to charge us to walk on the pier, and I was like, I thought that was some tomfoolery there, going to charge us to walk on a pier. I didn't know that's how they run things down there, that they charge people to walk on those piers. I don't even remember how much it was that they wanted to charge me. I just remember copping an attitude and walking away. I just remember not being very happy that they wanted to charge me to walk on the pier. I'm like, really? Just to walk on it? You had to pay to just to walk on it? Just to walk on it. I'm not fishing or anything. I just want to walk on it and look at the scenery. And you're going to charge me to walk on this pier? No, I'm going to leave now. I'm not paying you anything. So we just walked, you know, kind of moseyed around on the beach, and it was so chilly. I think we did get some ice cream or something, and then I found a place that they could go ride go-karts, and so we did that. They rode some go-karts and had a good time doing that. And but we didn't stay long in Pensacola. I think maybe 2 or 3 nights, something like that, and then we turned around and came back home. But because we drove to Pensacola, but we flew to Orlando from Memphis, Tennessee, because we were just living right across the border in West Memphis. But we were living here. Yes, we were living here when we went to Pensacola. Yeah, because we had already moved back down here when we went to Pensacola, because we drove there. Yeah, we drove from here to Pensacola. I wouldn't hesitate to go back either place, actually. But my favorite spot to visit is Biloxi, Mississippi. That's one of my favorite spots to visit, because they had the beach down there too. They have a really cool gift shop that has like a big shark head with its mouth open in front of this gift store down there in Biloxi, right on Beach Boulevard, and lots of good places to go eat. And there's a pottery museum there that I really like a lot. And they had a lot of cool art there when I went last. And then they have a lighthouse there. Lots of cool places to eat. And everybody's really friendly, or at least they were, as far as I was concerned. They seemed very friendly. The scenery is beautiful. The ocean, the Gulf. You know, we're not going to say Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America. It depends on which side of the fence you're on, I guess. But it's the Gulf. And it's really pretty. And the beach is like a really light colored, you know, almost white. So and which is really strange because the sand out in California is like a dark gray. So when I went to California earlier this year to visit Amy and her family, and she took me to the beach, I was like, this sand's the wrong color. The sand's the wrong color. And it was the same, and all the beaches that she took me to had the same dark gray color. And I was like, why is there sand dark gray out here on the West Coast and it's white on the East Coast? That makes no sense. But yeah, it is like that. So but it's beautiful either way you go. You know, the water is always beautiful. So it's peaceful to be near it. So anyway, so this video is all over the place. I just got on a tangent and just talk. But y'all love my stories, so it's all good, right? I'll wait for your comments. Because I really didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight. But I didn't know. But yeah. Will's always been an old soul. He's always, I always joke about that he and I grew up together because I was 3 weeks away from my 19th birthday when I had him. And he just seemed like, you know, when he hit about 4 years old, it's like he hit a level of maturity that most kids don't have, you know. And he's always been more mature than his age, always. And I don't know if that came from being raised by a single parent or just always hanging out with people older than him. You know, he's always hung out with people older than him. And he's always been more mature than, you know, than you would expect him, a person of his age. Always been more mature. And always had a fairly level head, you know. And so, you know, he just, yeah, we kind of grew up together. You know, raising him. And then, of course, him and John are about a little over 6 years apart. So he helped me raise John. So, you know, and boy, did they love each other. Oh my goodness, them boys, I tell you, it warms my heart. Because sometimes, you know, I'll hear them tell each other they love each other when they don't know that I'm within earshot. You know, so obviously they're not just telling each other that just to make dear old mom happy. They're saying that because they actually do love each other, you know, and they look out for each other. And I'm very happy about that. You know, it's always good when your children love each other, you know, and they have each other's back, and, you know, they get along really good. Even though we don't always approve of everything each other does, but the love is there, you know, and that's always a good thing. So, and they've always been super tight, super close. And I'm glad because, you know, that's not the case in my own, you know, sibling situation. It's never been like that with me and my sister. So I'm glad that my children have a better relationship than I have with my sibling. I'm really tickled about that. So anyway, that's about all I got. Just a bunch of rambling. Y'all came to hear me talk, right? I hope so, because that's all I did. But yeah, we're working on the purple puzzle. Making progress. I should have some more progress tomorrow. I'll have the other rows done on that second half, and then I'll hold it together with some stitch markers and work on the extra rows. And yep, this one will be done pretty quick. And then we'll see what else I do, right? Right. Alright, I love y'all, and so does Jesus. And please remember to adopt, don't shop. Your best friend could be waiting on you at the shelter or the rescue. Maggie and Theodore are in the other room with John. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.